There's a huge misconception when it comes to buying a pre-built PC. You're not going to get as much performance as you would do if you built it. The price is going to be extremely overpriced and very prideful. They say you wouldn't be a gamer if you didn't build your gaming PC. But all of that is a lie. And what I've done in this video is I've picked out 5 different pre-built PCs that I've chosen that I would recommend to my friends and my family based on the performance and the price. I'll take you step by step as far as how to find these gaming PCs and give you tips as far as which system integrator to go for. So if you're looking to buy a PC today, now's your chance. Yo guys, what's the deal? How are we doing today? My name is Joshua and I'm here to help you grow and elevate your live streaming gaming experience. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. But if you're returning, thanks for coming back. Now, like I was saying in the beginning of the video, we're going to be going over 5 different PCs. Now, if you have any questions whatsoever, please drop them down below in the comment sections. Or if you see a PC outside of this list, please, yes, drop that down below as well. Now, the list isn't going to be in any particular order, no low to high price or specific model or anything like that. But some stuff for you guys to know is that all these prices, all this availability is what I have found today, the time of filming, and they're likely to change as well. But it doesn't mean that none of this information isn't useful. As time goes on, continue to use the tips that I'm using as far as this, and I might even do multiple videos as time goes just to help you guys find the availability. Now, if you're looking for a budget option, it's going to be very hard. Once we start getting to the $800 to $1,000 price range or even lower, the graphics card options are completely like trash. I'm not going to say anything about those PCs. The sweet spot is going to be between $1,200 and $2,000, almost $3,000. So enough chit chat and let's start building. So the first site we're going to be going to is the NZXT website. Let's go ahead and just scroll down. We'll start the build. Now on this build, it's actually going to be an AMD set and we're going to keep the budget set to $2,000. Go ahead and click continue and we'll move along and build this PC. Now in this set, we have a $2,000 build. We need to take some dollars off because we're also going to be adding. We got to get that sweet spot. So right here, we have the chipset. Make sure it's on AMD. Now on the case, make sure just to pick the H510. We don't want to add anything at all. If you choose to purchase a different case or a different component, that's on you, but this is the best price to performance that I've come up with. Now, as far as the cooling, because I know what we're going to use, we're going to need to click the NZXT X63 so we can add that. And as far as the motherboard, we don't want to take off a lot of features, even though we can take a lot of money off, but we'll go with the MSI B550A Pro. I've used this variant on the Intel side as well as still with AMD, and it's a phenomenal motherboard. So we'll go ahead and click that, get $80 off of this PC build. And then for the CPU, we're not going to go with the Ryzen 9 5900X. We're actually going to go with the 5800X, the Ryzen 7. This is a phenomenal CPU. This is actually the CPU which runs this channel, and I honestly love it a lot. Now for GPU, this is where everything gets really good. We're going to click the 3070 Gaming by Gigabyte. Now the RAM, here's something also to note on this website. We have the Team Force Delta 3200. It is RGB, as well as the G-Skill 3200. They're both the same speed. They both have RGB. So there's no need to overpay when it comes to getting this pre-built. So we can click this and just add 16 gigabytes right here. And we get an additional $30 off of this PC. As far as just storage, we're going to click the 970 Evo, but we want to make sure it is the 500 gig variant. We will be adding an additional. This will continue to stay clicked, so we'll take this off. But going down to the Seagate, we're going to go with a 2 terabyte hard drive on this one. So now the last thing, yes, you want to get the best power supply. You have an 850 watt gold, so we'll click that, which is going to make our total $2,278, almost $279. But one thing that is added into this is a $100 build fee from NZXT. So you're paying a $100 just for a service. Now this doesn't go towards the parts, so I'm really like, okay, I understand it is a service because when people do stuff, you have to pay them. Now we can go to the PC part picker. If we take a look at this, I've already compiled the list of all the components that were on that build. We have the Ryzen 7 5800X. We have the same CPU cooler, which is the X53, the same motherboard, RAM, and so forth. You can see all the prices right here. I have put the graphics card at MSRP. That is what the price was when it came out. Who knows what the price is now? That doesn't matter, but that's what MSRP is. It's like a fairy tale number, but we have to have some type of reference. And we have added the Windows on here, which NZXT also adds as well, which puts our price at $2,017. You do get a 13 melon rebate, making the total $2,004. So going back to the NZXT build, it is $2,278. Now, if we take the $100 off of the build fee, that puts just the parts at $2,178. So a little bit higher, but that's $200 more than just getting the parts yourself. Now, I honestly think that is a super deal, because if you were to get a 3070 or 3080 just on the market, the scalped price, it is double of that. You're going to be paying $1,200 just for a 3070. So if you can pay $200 more than what the graphics card's worth versus $700, $600, that is definitely a good deal. And plus, you're not having to worry about any of the installation, and you get the PC now. Now, the next PC that we're going to go with is going to be $1,150. There is a little bit of a sale on it right now, so you will have to make sure to act on this very fast. However, this is going to be the lowest tier, lowest quality, the lowest that I would honestly recommend before everything starts to get really, really bad. Honestly, might be a hit or miss. I've seen some good comments and some bad comments. However, the price is literally exactly where it needs to be, and that's why I recommend this. So if we go on over to Newegg, we can see that we have the ABS Master Gaming. Now, what comes in this PC is a Ryzen 5 3600. It's going to be last gen, and you do get a 2060, which is also last gen. However, if we go ahead and take a look at what the actual PC is, it's pretty fair. If you look at the case, not the best cooling. However, you can change that in the future, but you are going to have the RGB fans as well as RGB CPU cooler. It's going to be a thermal take, and you're also not paying extra just for it to be built. Now, going down on over to the specs, we can see that we have the Ryzen 5 3600. We also have 16 gigabytes of 3000 megahertz RAM, very specific on the NVMe, which is the Intel 512 gigabyte, and then of course the RTX 2060. And for the power supply, it is a 500 watt 80 plus white, which means it's the bottom. You have white, you have bronze, and you have gold as well as platinum. Now, white is going to be on the bottom. The shielding of it's not going to be the best, but it's still going to give you the power that you need. And as far as the case, you do have the deep cool matrix on here and the CPU RGB cooler, as well as the case fans. And yes, Windows 10 is installed. So now if we go back and see what the actual price of each one of these components are, we can see right here, PC part picker, Ryzen 5. We have the thermal take, which is the CPU cooler, the same one. And as far as the motherboard, it really didn't give any verification or clarification. So I just put a standard generic B450 on there. And the same thing for the RAM, it didn't give us a brand, so I just did the actual specs, 16 gigabytes, 3000. But as far as everything else, I was able to get everything on here, and we'll see the price is $1,114. And that's only a $35 difference, and that's why I recommend this PC build. Again, the supporting components for the PC aren't going to be the best, like the power supply or the motherboard. However, if you can purchase the parts by yourself, they're the same price. So it's fair. It's fair when it comes to the price, and that is why I genuinely recommend this one. Now, the next PC build that we're going to be doing is an iBUYPOWER PC build. Now, fortunate for me, I've been able to see firsthand as far as how well these PCs are made. I have a friend, he goes by Breathorn and has excellent knowledge when it comes to system integrators. I'm going to drop a link down to his channel down below so you can learn more about who and what is available basically every week. But getting into this build, we'll go to iBUYPOWER.com. And on this one, we're going to be checking out the same day ready system, which means basically already ready to go, and you'll get it very, very fast. So we'll go on over to this. And the first thing we're going to do is go to the gaming ready. And this one is actually priced at $18.99. So we'll see the details on this one. And right off the bat, we got some pictures. It looks phenomenal. The only thing I would say about this is the case. The case has like zero airflow. So if you're running any hot temperatures in this, you're probably going to want to change it to something with a little bit more airflow. However, the case looks good. The fans look good. At least it looks good. So getting into the specs, you do have Windows 10. The case itself is addressable RGB, and this one does come with a Ryzen 7 3700X. It is last gen, but still very, very good when it comes to gaming and editing. Now it does come with RGB liquid cooler. Basically, it's their house brand, but all of these coolers are made by one company, Asetek. Going to the memory, you do get the ADATA XPG. It is RGB, 16 gigabytes at the 3200 megahertz. You get 1 terabyte on an NVMe SSD and the good old 3070 graphics card ready to go. The motherboard is a B550 Asus. And as far as the power supply, it is a 700 watt power supply. It is gold certified, so it's very, very nice. But again, here we are with a 3-year standard warranty. And of course, the shipping is a 4 to 5 day rush service, and all of that for $18.99. But again, act fast because they do have sales. You'll see 140 was taken off. But taking a look as far as the actual price of each component, we got the 3700X. Now you can't buy an iBUYPOWER AIO, but Cooler Master is a company that they choose to work with to do a lot of their work. So that is why I choose their liquid cooler. And we do have the Asus Prime B550 Plus motherboard on this one, 3200, 16 gigabytes. Now for the NVMe storage, they didn't give me a brand, so I just went ahead and went with one of the cheapest, 1 terabyte, same spec NVMe, and the good old 3070 graphics card at MSRP, the fairy tale number that we all know about. And the case, you can't buy the iBUYPOWER case, so I went with something that looked very close to it, which is the Fantex Eclipse. And the power supply is the EVGA GQ. Now they didn't have a 700 watt, which is really, really odd, just the 750 available. But I chose this one because it's just a little bit more, but it is still a company that they choose whenever they are using their power supplies. And yes, the Windows 10 activation, which all of this comes to $17.72.22. So we compare that to the actual price, which is $18.99, and that is only a $126 difference. You get warranty, you get a nice looking PC. The parts are actually really, really good in this. And I can tell you firsthand from my personal experience from my friends that these PCs were built very, very nice and they've had 0 issues. And that is why I would recommend this PC if you were to want something today. And now it just goes to show that availability can go left or right. Now, this option I was going to use is actually out of stock. It's the NZXT, same thing like we did with the first PC, but this time with a 3060 and a 5600X. However, the 3060 from them is out of stock. So I wanted to see where can I find another 3060. So I came across the CYBERPOWERPC. We're going to click gaming PCs right here, and it's actually the first one, and this one's priced at $16.99. So we'll go ahead and click that. Now right off the bat, we can see what kind of case this is. It is the Lian Li PC008. It doesn't seem to be a case that I can purchase just outright if I really wanted to, but it really reminds me of the 011 Dynamic as well as the H510 Elite by NZXT. So that's the case you will get. The CPU is the Ryzen 5 5600, a very, very good 6-core 12-thread processor. And it does come with the Master Liquid Light 120. This is actually made by Cooler Master, so it's a great company. It is only just one fan, very small, but for the 5600X, it should be very sufficient. Scrolling down, we see that the motherboard is the Asus Prime 550. The RAM is going to be the DDR4 3000. It's the slowest of the RAMs that we've come across today. And the video card is a 3060. Now with this company, it is a 4 weeks wait on it. However, you can still get it. Just wait a little bit longer. I've honestly been trying to get graphics cards since the moment they've come out, and I've only come across one 3060 and a lot of 20 series, even the 1660. So the fact that you can get this graphics card in under 4 weeks, that's really good. And the power supply, it is a 600 watt, very efficient. It is the 80 plus gold high efficient power supply, but don't let high efficient really get you anywhere. So little marketing works like that really don't do much. And then you are going to get an MSI Spadium M370 series. And I've never actually knew that this NVMe came out. I was trying to search to purchase it and I was not able to. And here we are back to the software, Windows 10. And you do get a 3-year free service plan, includes labor and lifetime technical support. So whatever technical support that they define that as, that is what you can get for 3 years. So that's something good to know, especially when purchasing a pre-built PC. Now getting to the cost of how much each of these components, we have everything listed out right here. The 5600, we have the Master Liquid, the Asus Prime B550, the Crucial Ballistic 16 gigabytes. I was not able to get the MSI NVMe on here, so I have switched that out with the Western Digital, but it's basically just the standard that we've seen across the board. And as far as the graphics card, I just put a regular Gigabyte GeForce, something we've seen as well. We're not too sure which graphics card comes with it, but they kind of just put what they can get. Normally it's a custom card, so that's why it's at the $450 price. Now the Lian Li PC08 wasn't a PC case that I can purchase, so I kind of just compared that to the NZXT H510 Elite as well as the 011. Both of them $150, so that's the price that I'm assuming for that case because it actually looked like a really good case. We do have the EVGA 600 watt gold certified power supply and Windows again. So all of that comes out to $1486. You do get promo discounts as well as mail-in rebates, but we're not going to account for those, which leaves us to a difference of $213. Now, again, $200 or even $300, it is still less than purchasing the 3060 at a very scalped price. Now, the next system integrator I'm going to be showing you is not one that you go for if you're trying to be on a budget, but rather go for the best perfect PC you can possibly get. So we'll go to the website. It is Digital Storm. And when we go to the website, we can see a nice little video montage of all the work that they've done. And it says clearly, we build the world's most advanced PCs. And honestly, I mean, that's sick. So we'll go on over to the desktops. Now you can go with any of the cases that you have here. However, I personally like the Lumos, which is the Corsair case. So I'll scroll all the way down. And we're going to go ahead and start with the AMD Ryzen series because the Ryzen 5950 as well as the 5900 is the fastest CPU and we want the best gaming experience possible. And as far as those, we got the 5950. I'm going to pick the Ultimate. So one of the features, of course, they have it right here. It says why Digital Storm? Well, they have lifetime support, meaning you purchase one PC and that PC is going to be basically covered for life. Built by experts and of course, extensive testing. That's one of the things that not a lot of companies do. They say they do, but they don't. And some just don't even do it at all. So we choose the chassis. I've already done that. You can do exterior finish, trim finishes, whichever you want, but we'll leave that as is. Processor, of course, the 5950. The motherboard is going to be an Asus Prime. We can go ahead and click something else if we want to. But yeah, let's actually do that because I really love to have the Strix. I have a Strix motherboard and graphics card. So I'm going to use the Strix X570. Now for the RAM, it has 32 gigabytes of DDR4 3200. Me personally, I'm already running 36. So if I choose some crazy beast of a system, I want to make sure to at least be there. And we can go ahead and just max out at the 128 gigabytes because why not? And the power supply, 850 watt. It's going to be a beast. So we at least want to have a little bit more than 1,000, if not just 1,000. We can do 1,200 watts on this one. You got expansion bays, optical drives that you can do. You have storage, and I'll go ahead and choose the 1 terabyte 980 Pro, and I can choose the 4 terabyte 860 Pro. Now the graphics card is going to be a big deal, but remember I told you this is not faint of heart because you're already paying $5,000. What we're going to do is we've got to make sure we can get that 3080 Ti. So here we are, a ridiculous $2,000 just for that card. but here is the cooling. So we'll go with the H2O, the Water Hydrolux Pro. It's an exotic custom cooling system. One graphics card plus the CPU for $847. I want to have hardline tubing. I don't want to have any type of soft line, anything like that. And then the fluid color, I'm actually going to do a green fluid clear tubing, and they do have the cable management. It's already there, premium cable management. Let's use the blue cables on all the PCIe, the CPU, as well as the motherboard power. Now, airflow control, you can have this. We'll use the Commander Pro by Corsair. And you do have the remote control for the RGB, but Digital Storm has the LEDs as well. So let's just click that, no extra cost. And now for the chassis fans, you can click this, but you need to know the case as well, because the case that I've chosen already has RGB fans in it. So I'm not going to choose anything else. I really don't need to. Chassis mods, don't need to. I don't need any noise reduction or laser marks. But here's the cool thing. They will overclock your CPU. That's already there. This graphics card, the 3080 Ti, doesn't need to overclock, because if I choose it, it automatically says no. So we'll say no thanks, unfortunately. But here's the operating system already there. Accessories, don't really need any, but here's the services. Lifetime, 3-year limited warranty, technical support for life. They assemble it, they stress test, quality control, special packaging to ship, as well as a certificate of ownership. Now again, you look at this price at $8,765, and once I tell that to my wife, she's probably gonna kill me. However, this is the best gaming PC that you can get. Yes, you're completely overpaying, but if you want the best, like I've said before, this is the company to go for. So now I know I need to sell a kidney and possibly even my wife's, but as long as I have a sick gaming PC, it really doesn't matter. So there you have it, guys. Those are 5 different gaming PCs. I know the last one was a little bit over exaggerative, but it's still an option for you guys. So you let me know what you thought. You drop a comment down below if you like any of these PCs. Maybe you actually want one of these. You guys let me know. And if you do see any type of crazy deals or some awesome availability, make sure to join the Discord as well and drop those in the tech channel. So if you found any type of value in this video, please hit that like button. It helps the algorithm and boosts the channel so more people can be helped with these computers. And if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. But in the meantime, guys, you know what to do. Game up, stream up. Peace.